This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody, and welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, I'm here with my only friends and Tortoise!
Am I separate from your only friends? Because you're here with your only friends and Tortua.
No, I like it. This is exactly what we talked about yesterday.
Okay.
Are you like my pet then?
Yo,
What? I
Are you
might
like
be.
my
Yeah,
pet?
I'm your pet tortoise.
Yo, bro, just
Listen. When we're like this summer, when we're at Horseshoe in Paris and we're walking around, you're like, "Hi, I'm Conrad, and this is my pet tortoise."
Can we get a like a warning tortoise crossing shirt for you?
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
I mean, I got the,
We can probably
I got
make
the
that.
tortoise shirt on right now.
I don't know. It's Friday. Maybe
I gotta get back to my tortoise roots, man. I'm out there fucking jamming Jack High on the bubble of a fucking goddamn satellite.
Oh my God. You
Yeah.
did what?
Yeah.
There might have been some influence.
We
from,
don't know. We think it's right though.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, but you know, the old tortoise would have never did that.
You know, he also just folded ace-5 suited recently, right?
Yeah. See, you should have the shirt.
I know. Did someone say fuck? I think we should do something with the shirts at some point. Like we should bring them like every Friday. You know, like we got a shirt bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the blanket back today. You know.
You had to get the blanket
Hey,
back.
can
You're,
the shirt
you're
bit
blinding
be
the
that you
people.
start
hi, Bark.
wearing one?
Hey, Bark.
What do you say?
Can the shirt bit be that Landon starts wearing one?
I wore a sweatshirt yesterday. It's Friday.
Sun's
you know?
out, guns out, baby.
Yeah.
No, you look ridiculous.
You don't look good, cuz.
All right.
I'm chilling on the
This
beach
is a
right now.
national show, Landon. You know,
Worldwide, international. What are you talking about?
Award-winning.
award-winning, and you treat it as though you're going to the goddamn gym.
I was at
He was
the
at the
gar-
gym.
I was in the garage.
He was at the gym, and then he's leaving here and going back to the gym.
I gotta finish my workout, man.
Yep. He's like
Matt-
in a gym sandwich right now.
Matt thinks that this is unhealthy. Matt's scared.
I think it's an unhealthy obsession, but hey,
I don't know. The gym is the
you'll
bread,
regress to
and
the meat.
and Landon is the meat in the middle.
Here you go, Brian. Thank you. This is for kids. This is a kid show.
Yep.
That we've learned every day is a kid show.
Yeah. Guapo's out here just recommending this to children.
What happened? What did I miss?
Guapo had
was
on
Guapo-
the
Guapo's subtle way
suitable
to
for
try to get
children
us
setting.
canceled.
We never say anything inappropriate on this.
No, absolutely not.
It's fine.
Guapo, please put me on the confidence monitor. Otherwise, I'm going to have to talk over Lamanna the entire show.
Listen, man, I'm fired up today. Yeah.
He's clearly had a cup of coffee, and we know how that blends with the tortoise. It's just going to be a lot.
I had a big cup of coffee this morning.
It was called punting last night.
Yes. Oh man. Woo.
How did you?
It
get
wasn't
your
a
pants
punt.
the
We ran
exact
through the solver.
color?
I'm making $50 with that shove. It wasn't a punt, but you know.
You're basically rich.
It was not tortoise approved. It was not tortoise approved.
Care
What
to
are you
fill
saying,
the
Burke?
people in?
Hmm?
You care to fill the people in?
Yeah,
You just want to talk about things that they don't know anything about.
I said I jammed Jack High on the bubble. That's all they need to know.
You went all in with a Jack High.
Yeah, so there was giving away 7 seats. There's 8 left. 8 was going to get like a quarter of a seat, and I had 10.5 blinds. There was only one smaller stack. Had 9 blinds, and it folded me in the cutoff. I was fairly confident that the small blind had a seat locked up and was just folding range. Button was probably folding everything but kings plus, and the big blind had 12 blinds. So I shoved the Jack 10 suited, just trying to pick up the blinds, and big blind woke up with queens, and I did not get there.
You got caught speeding.
That's called speeding, yeah. Exactly. You know, they say that shove move, it only works. It works every time but once. Boy, did I find that out.
It works every time.
Every time but once.
And the amount of like old adages from poker back in the day, from like many years, since its origins, are so down bad. Like
they're
always
great.
leave yourself out. It's like, bro,
Yes.
you don't want to be betting with equity. What are we doing here?
Listen, man, that's what makes That's the fabric of this game. What are you talking
That
about?
is the lifeblood of poker.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know,
I
but
do
we
think
ran
that
it through the sim. We're trying to figure out all the, we got Matt Hunt on the case. He ran it like 15 times with different node locks and figuring out this. So we came to the conclusion that the shove is probably good and it probably makes money, but felt bad.
It can't be bad is our answer.
It can't be bad, which I wish. That's why
It could
I
definitely
wish
be
I had
bad.
Matt Hunt on speed dial. I would have had him do this last night and I would have been able to sleep better.
I mean,
What are you saying?
it could definitely be bad.
It could be bad. That's what I'm saying. It could be bad.
It could
I
certainly be
said
bad.
the fact that it's so. I think it's close. I think it's probably a fold because when it's that close, you're assuming everyone else is playing correctly, and they're just not.
I also
I don't
think in
know.
a satellite, you have 10.5 blinds. You're not that short.
Right. Exactly.
And when you're called, you're out. It's
Right.
not like I know that
Well,
Landon's
it's
going to make
not
the case
out.
for.
I almost got
I mean,
there.
you're out.
No, I mean
You have Jack 10 suited.
if a 10, Jack, or 8 hit the river,
You're
I have a
actually
seat.
in.
I'm in.
Are we really going to do this? Is
Well,
this the way that you're
I'm
gonna-
just not out. I have equity with my hand. It's not much, but I'm not out.
But it's very low is the point because their calling range is specifically pairs
Correct.
above the jack.
Yes. So 10%.
So
of
it's
the
not
time,
it's
I'm
not
in.
like you can it's not like jamming ace deuce off where
Right.
barring them having aces, you have 30% equity. Always. Like
No,
a
I know.
uniform-
You're right. I agree, man. I agree.
Landon doesn't. Landon
Listen,
you
please
like
let.
shoving the cards that touch.
Right. Landon has given me all the copium I need, and I want it, and put it into my veins.
I'm a copium
please.
dealer right now. No,
Yes.
I think it's. I think it's.
You
Yo,
look
Bryan.
like a fucking copium dealer.
Yeah, I think it's good, man.
Berk, how you doing? You won some money last night.
Wow.
I did win some money. I didn't win as much as I should have.
Me either.
I'm on the
Based.
I'm on the feeling entitled train. No, the game was good. The stand up, it's so funny, man. The stand up game is so
Jesus
good for poker.
Christ.
What?
The stand-up game made everyone lose their fucking minds.
It's funny because I don't want to talk too much strategy around the stand up
you
game
don't have
because
to.
of the effect it has on the environment or whatever. But I think people like greatly overweight how big the expense of the punishment is. So in this instance, we were playing for 3 big blinds per person. So it's gonna, if you lose the stand up game 6-handed, you're gonna lose like 18 bigs. And
Man,
that
it's
sucks.
pride.
Don't get me wrong, it sucks, but it's not terribly expensive.
That's something
it's-
like torching your stack for.
right. Well, perhaps, who knows? I'm not here to debate that.
Yeah, that's true.
What I find to be hilarious, and also like what I greatly enjoy about it, is that all of the mechanics of good poker immediately break down
Yeah.
when this bounty comes into play. Like if you did splash pots of let's assume that the stand-up game ends in an orbit every time, right?
Okay.
So let's assume that there are 3 big blinds added to every single pot. So if we did a 3 big blind splash pot, I said, oh, I don't want to talk strategy. And now
I know, right? Corey, you can't help yourself.
If we did a 3
Let
big
him
blind
cook, let him
splash
cook.
pot, if we did a 3 big blind splash pot every hand for an orbit, the standard opening size would not suddenly become 6x.
Right.
But that's the natural adjustment that comes into the game, is
Mhm.
that everybody wants to win the hand pre. They just treat it as though everyone's been dealt 7 deuce and it's a race to see who can get the showdown with 7 deuce to claim the bounty. And it gets so fucking unhinged. Like Ishan's 3-betting button with 10-3 off. Masato's opening to 6x and 3-betting to like 26x or 30x. Like we just suddenly start playing 5x the stakes of what we have in front of us. And I'm just sitting there giggling, going, the stand-up game's making me so rich. Because I'm just like playing normally.
Let him cook,
there
man.
wa-
Let him
there
cook.
was
They're
one hand
cooking.
there was one hand that I regret
Ace
during
9?
the stand-up game.
No.
I think that's like totally reasonable. The strata was on. We were only 80 blinds effective.
Oh, okay.
And Masato just seemed like he was up to no good. And he 3-bet so fucking big that like, what else are you gonna do? I think my hand probably mixes fold and jam, but whatever. No, there was a hand where it was a limp pot 7 ways during the stand-up game where I had king 7 of diamonds and it came king 7 deuce rainbow. I bet one big blind. Masato raised to, I guess, 7 big blinds, so a little less than pot. And the accountant cold called. And I just know the accountant has a king 100% of the time. And I leveled myself thinking that he is going to read into further aggression. Basically, like what I thought to myself was, okay, if I just call, Masato is going to check back almost always when checked to. So I'm going to have to take the aggression on the turn somehow anyway. And if I choose a small raise size, it's just going to look like I have a set or 2 pair almost always because it's so hard to find bluffs on King 7 deuce.
Oh, is it?
Well, I mean, in their minds, I mean, I would just like take a 7 to the face here, where I don't think either of them have a good hand, you know? So I was thinking like everybody's overreacting to wanting to sit down, that perhaps if I just overbet jam, he'll think that I'm just trying to steal the pot and sit down in a spot where he's clearly capped at 1 pair and maybe level himself into a call. And he ends up folding like stone top of range. He folds fucking king queen.
Must be
It's
nice.
like, God, it's so brutal. What do you mean must be nice?
People fold to you.
I had
Not
top
when he
2.
has that hand.
What are you?
I just want someone to fold me one time.
Hold it out as equity, Burke. Good job.
Try having a hand every now and again.
Yeah, how do you do that? You know how much poker I've played and not had a hand?
Because you are a slave to a machine.
Poker's so
Honestly,
much
you're
easier
not even
when you make
you're not
hands.
even a slave to a machine. That's a lie. You're a slave to the bottom of your range.
I love yeah. No one looks at
And
King 10 off from under the gun 8 and says, yes, time to triple it off every time.
Like when you make
I mean-
hands, you don't even have to be good at poker. Just get the one.
The funny part is like I think you think that like somehow you're wide in spots that other people aren't. Like you think Conrad and I are ever looking at King 10 off under the gun and we're not just like, yep.
Oh, I know you are.
But the difference is that we don't already have it predetermined in our head that we've rolled high for the next 3 streets.
Yeah, it's just how the game works, though.
It doesn't have to be.
It-
The thing is that you claim to randomize, but your button is fucking broken.
I keep landing on put the money in. I don't
It's
understand.
called Gretzky dice, where you keep
He
rolling
al-
99s.
He always starts his text with, "I rolled 98." And it's like, no, you fucking didn't. No, you
With the
didn't,
King
man.
8, I did. I rolled a 90. That one I actually mixed for it. It's fair.
Do you want to divulge how you mix or what you use to mix?
Yeah, just use a chip marker. So when I shuffle chips playing live, you can look at it like a clock, and most casinos have some form of marker you can use. And if it's closer to the right side, like it's 1 o'clock, that's passive. And if it's 11 o'clock, it'd be aggressive. Right? So if you're randomly chip shuffling and then you look down at whatever time, you can then
If
randomize
it lands right
your
at
decision.
midnight, you just roll again.
If it lands at 100, I'm in.
So if it lands right at midnight, that's 100.
Yeah, and it
Okay.
always lands on midnight. It's midnight
I would
randomizing.
I would argue that that's not very random. I've played with this where I just sit and shuffle chips a bunch and keep looking at the chip, and very rarely does the chip rotate.
No, it rotates.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure it does, and I'm sure you just keep landing at 99 over and
Well,
over and over
it doesn't
again
have to be
by
the
sheer
exact chip on
chance.
top, right? Wouldn't you just shuffle and it's one
No.
of the ones in the middle?
Correct.
Of
You can
course,
pick
of
whatever
course,
chip
but what
you
I'm
want,
saying-
right?
Yeah, I understand. What I'm saying is, like, if you have a tendency to have them fucking looking like a clock dial
You
where
know what?
midnight's facing up, and that's going to get you the high side, and you don't really rotate your
know,
wrist much when you
it's-
shuffle, you're going to keep fucking
A
landing
lot
there.
of people just look at the clock, right? They just look at the clock, and if it's if
Yeah, but
you're in a
that's
cash
too
game,
truly random.
right?
He-
I guess
he
if
would-
you're
he'd have to
not
live
in a
with,
if you're in a cash game, you can't do this. But if you look at the clock and it's like whatever the seconds say,
I mean,
right?
yeah, some people just have like a stopwatch going on their phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say,
Something
and
like
I'm
that.
going to leave it at this, is that when people say that, oh my God, like you're so aggressive, you bluff so much, it's actually just the normal amount that you should be bluffing, but because it's such an outlier type of event that
Right.
bluffing keeps occurring.
Most people under bluff, so when you bluff correctly, it seems like a lot.
Correct.
Wait, if you take 100% of the bottom, it's not bluffing correctly, is it?
It depends on the spot, because like sometimes when you do open like a low frequency hand and then you want to have like the bottom of that category, it will be used pretty aggressively. But if you're not finding the bottom opens, you're gonna have less bluffs as a default, right? When you open hijack, like ace 8 off is a mixed open pre,
Sure.
right? So if you have that hand and the board comes like queen jack 4, turn 5, river 6, money should be going in.
I think Conrad's point is. I think Conrad's point is that if things mix at a frequency and you tend to be on the correct or overcorrect side of that frequency in a specific region, like let's call it the bottom of your range, then you probably are over bluffing. Not because your overall bluffing frequency is too much.
You know what?
Because
he's like whipping words over here.
Are too much.
You know what?
Man, we should have had Matt Hunt in today.
Just start calling me and see what happens.
What? You're getting torched, bro.
See what happens.
But to further my point, like say King 10 has bluffing properties, but it mixes like passively as well. The reason why it's going to mix is, you know, due to the construction of the range that calls. It's going to have like some unblocking properties that allow. So like let's say it's a 60-40 mix of check versus bluff, and you just always bluff with that one and not some others. Yeah, you're going to get called a little bit more often. And that's why it's supposed to check, man. You know, you know these things. I'm just
it's
just reminding you that in live it matters.
It's just like a frequency thing, because when you look at it as a whole, there's going to be some hands that are just going to be very hard to intuit as a bluff, but because of you don't want to give opponent blocker properties that work for them when it comes to bluff catching.
Yeah, right.
So like if you're supposed to mix with one and then also mix with another, but if you pure bet one and pure check the other, you're probably going to be fine as long as like the frequencies are intact, sort of idea. But at the same time, it's just the notion that bluffing doesn't happen as much as is, that if you start trying to find them, the real answer is like no one's really as aggressive as a solve. Like genuinely as aggressive as a solve. It's just how close are you.
Nobody's also as balanced as a solve is the thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, with all of that now being discussed, my mic's all fucked up. With all that being discussed, I am officially on a winning streak.
Wow, it's fucking baseball season.
How many in a row is this? 5?
Listen up.
Well, no, it's 4 and an asterisk mark.
We win one today, that's 2 in a row. We win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
I am the Cleveland Indians live streams.
I thought you're not allowed to be associated with Cleveland.
I'm not. But Major League is one of the all-time great baseball movies.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. Willie Mays Hayes is the man.
It's really good.
It really is so good.
What is it called?
Major League.
Major
Okay.
League.
It's just like a parody idea. It's a funny movie.
No, it's a good movie. It's just a good movie.
Yeah, but like, what's it about?
It's a comedy movie about a baseball team who sucks really bad.
They're just made up by a bunch of misfits.
Yeah,
the owner doesn't want to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
Oh, so it's basically this podcast in baseball form. Got it.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. He is back. Yeah, we need to get a.
So who's Rick Vaughn in the pod? I mean, the young gun. It's got to be Landon, right?
Landon, maybe.
I don't know these people. I don't know who they are.
No way.
The Tortoise is definitely Tom Berenger.
Yeah, the Tortoise is definitely Tom Berenger.
Willie Mays Hayes. I mean, come on.
Honestly, I know that we're making the joke because or we're making the association because they're both black or whatever, but like Conrad and Wesley Snipes' character have so much in common in the sense that they can't be talked off of
That's so true.
What it is they do. Right? Like he makes that basket catch. He's like, nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever fucking do it again. And he just like looks at him funny. It's like, that's like talking to Conrad. Like, yeah, you got away with one, but don't do it again. He's like, shut up.
Yeah, please, Conrad, don't fire this deuce to 7 5K again. I know you final tabled it once, but.
Wait, am I Lou Brown in this scenario?
Ooh. God, you might be.
Every time I see you hit a ball in the air, that's 10 push-ups.
That's pretty great.
Every time I see you open King 10 off under the gun, that's 10 push-ups. I don't know. But yeah, I am official on a win streak. If you count Poker Go, this is 5 straight.
Let's go.
I've erased that 200K downswing that we had in 2 sessions a few weeks ago at Live the Bike. I don't know, man.
You did. I can tell from the running tab. Yes.
Yeah,
I can tell by how good we're doing based off of when he gets absolutely wrecked and then it starts crawling back. I'm like, okay, good. We're back to a normal number.
Berk, are your headphones broken and taped together?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at it like it looks all crooked. And I'm like,
yeah, no.
And I see a piece of tape.
So what happened? see, what had happened was they snapped in my book bag like years ago.
Matt got angry.
Yeah, Hulk mode. And I got like that JB weld, so it's like that liquid
it's the
cement or whatever.
system.
Yeah, and I welded it back together. But I was in a hurry to come here, and I put tape over top of the JB weld, obviously to like reinforce. But I was in a hurry to come here. And I didn't have any other headphones with me, and I knew I needed them for the podcast and to work out. So I threw these in my bag, and the JB Weld snapped.
Oh.
So now we got a dangler. Got a dangler, Sarge.
Got a dangler. Like the old, King 3 suited.
Idea. Like you're playing PLO, and it's the Ace, King, King, Deuce.
Got that dangler.
Yeah.
Oh, it's working. It's working. You're working.
He is working.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Functional.
Keep going, Matt.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Just win all the monies, please.
All right. While we're talking about people winning all the monies, huge shout out to our boys Joey Weissman and Bryan Piccioli. They got first and second in the Venetian $2,500 event. Joey takes down 180K. I think Bryan got like 120ish,
126 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Great job, gentlemen.
Let's go, guys.
Bryan, we've known since he was just a babe. A little boy, if you will. He was 16, I think, when we first started playing with his dad, Danny Piccioli.
Yes.
So the backstory to this would be a great conversation to have when Brent's on the pod, as we all met in the same poker room. But myself, Bryan, LaManna, and Brent all met at Salamanca Casino in upstate New York. We played a regular 5-10 game every Friday and Saturday. It also included Bryan Piccioli's dad, Danny, who I thought was a doctor for
Just
a
call
long
him Dr.
time.
Dan. Yeah, you're like, oh, when I first went there to play, you're like, oh yeah, you're gonna meet all these guys, and there's Dr.
Not
Dan.
a doctor. He was like a social worker.
Yep.
Same thing though.
Same thing.
And
people.
he used to come in and tell us stories about his kid, who was Bryan, of course. And he'd be like, yeah, the darndest thing. I had a few $100s in my PokerStars account, and I woke up and Bryan had dusted it all off. So he was out there like grinding satellites and stuff like that way back when. But we all went to his graduation party, his high school graduation party. Like, Bryan forever.
What was the age disparity between you guys?
I think he's like what? He's probably like what, 30 now?
Yeah, he's probably like 10 years younger than us. That sounds about right. Maybe
I want to say
maybe not
he graduated
even,
high
maybe
school.
not even.
No, not even.
I feel like he's my age. I feel like
he graduated high
35.
school in either 2006 or 2007.
Yeah, I just always think people are younger than they are because I forget how old I am.
Right.
But,
yeah, I think there's probably like a 6 or 7 year age gap. So he's probably he actually might be 35 now. He's been around a minute.
He's had some really good scores.
With the legendary screen name of Somebody Suck Me.
What?
That was his GG screen name.
That's his GG name.
Oh, GG. I was gonna say he was the Czar 19 forever on the old OG site.
I remember seeing that update where it's like GG is like a chip leading the like online main event is somebody suck me. Wow, I mean strong. You gotta give respect to this.
What movie is that from?
American Pie, maybe.
Or it's also from. I thought it was from like a what is it? Lil Dicky's thing. Dave.
Maybe that's what it's from. Yeah, that's what it's from. Dave. Yeah.
I like how the snapping helped me like figure it out.
I feel like there was a Stifler reference.
Suck
from
Me
American
Beautiful
Pie,
was.
yes.
Stifler.
Good job.
See,
Lana.
kids show.
Shout out to all the kids out there.
This
Shout
bit
out to all the
isn't
dads.
funny anymore.
Happy Father's Day.
I think the bit's only just begun.
Oh man.
I like
It's
that we
Friday.
could.
You know we're getting loose.
I like that if we're like on the kids section, we're like PBS adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically the Nature Channel out here teaching the youth of the world.
Educating the future of tomorrow today.
We have another big winner. Talal, the GOAT himself, has won the Triton main event.
Nice.
These
A lot of
winner
monies.
photos are gorgeous.
Are they?
Mhm.
Yo,
Yeah,
look at him cook.
that.
How
Wow,
good that
look
winner
at
photo looks.
That trophy is
Mhm.
massive.
It
Oh,
really
dope.
is. It really is, but it's
It
really
should be
dope.
massive.
That's so dope.
How much was first in this? 3 million?
Over
3.2.
3. Yeah.
I think it was 3.2.
There you go.
I think it was,
And the Mark Jacobs watch.
Fedor
Not
got
Mark
fifth
Jacobs.
in this.
Jacob.
He had the unfortunate. Are we good?
Yep.
Sorry.
Jacob.
Jacobs.
Fedor got fifth in this. He had the unfortunate displeasure of having kings get cracked twice at the final table.
The boys
We
are
don't
not
want
back
It's the
in
only way you
town.
can get them, really.
Yeah, we all want to pour one out for Fedor and his bad luck.
He runs so bad over these years, man.
Yeah, it's been going bad for a
They
long
do it to him every
I-
time.
Mhm.
They do it to
I
him
mean,
every
honestly, he probably did get scammed worth of somewhere in the 7 figures range. He lost kings to ace king and ace 10 all in at the same time.
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
scam.
he lost kings versus ace queen to bust.
Double scam. Yeah, I mean,
Double scam.
unfortunate.
Probably like $1 million in EV.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know what? I got a feeling he'll be back.
He'll be all right.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't think I'm ever going to financially recover from
Yeah,
this.
he might not financially recover from that. Roman got
Solid.
9th. Shout out to my man Roman.
Well, his
6 Triton
friend.
series. No, it's just same one.
It's all the same friend.
Same one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Roman's
You
cooking.
should have, bro. You could have gotten these swaps in. Man.
So many
That's what's
swaps.
wrong with
Yeah.
you.
Listen, man, next Triton's in May, but it's also doing online scoop in GG.
Where is it?
It's in London.
You going?
No, we're gonna
Wait,
play online.
hold on. Oh, you're gonna play with like hang out with pads and stuff, right?
Yeah,
So you'll get your swaps.
I'll
in
get my
there.
swaps in a different way.
I got you. I understand.
Wait, Triton's on in London.
I think so. I think that's the next
Really?
one. The next stop, yeah.
So EPT Monte Carlo is the last week of April, going into early May. You're saying Triton's like right after that?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man. There's a really high probability I'm actually there.
Podcast on the
Wait,
road. Podcast on the road.
Well, if Helmuth was being genuine in this invite to play that week-long stream game at D2D, we would go, I think it's like April 24th to the 29th, and then we would go straight to EPT Monte Carlo from there, which would then have me able to do whatever I wanted right after, which, London would be a short trip back. But I don't know that I can be gone for a month, especially when only 5 days of it is playing cash. Like, that sounds so bad.
Yeah, that sounds kind of rough.
I'm actually like, it's crazy because I've never been to Europe and I should want to travel and whatnot, but like, I'm actually bummed to be missing Florida for EPT Monte Carlo.
Florida's great. We love Florida stops.
Yes.
Florida's so good.
Florida is the end of April.
Yes.
Yeah.
The main is at the end of April. It's probably starts
think
somewhere
it-
in the middle.
I think it ends on the 2nd because that's when Choctaw starts.
I know that most people that are going to Florida are going to do, it's kind of like a trifecta stop where it's like Florida, Choctaw, Lodge, and then back to wherever it is they're going because they're all so close after the Choctaw
Well,
one.
After the Lodge is WSOP, isn't it?
Is it?
I assume
Getting
so.
close.
Getting close. I guess close. WSOP adjacent.
I think we're like a week out.
Man, there's so much stuff to play all of the time.
It's great. It's
This shit
great.
is popping right now.
I didn't mean that in a bad way. There's just so much stuff to play all of the time.
Yeah.
It's just so much stuff.
Good time
Forget
to be
the
a
time.
tournament pro for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How many dollars in buy-ins do you think someone could play if they're traveling and doing the whole thing and like not missing? Like you just play everything.
And you're playing like
depends. What's your
3,500 and
API?
under?
Yeah. You're playing like 3,500. You can play like a 5K main. Call it. You can think you can get like $1 million in buy-ins.
Wait, where?
sure.
Oh, throughout the year?
I think
yeah.
Conrad has $1 million in buy-ins already this year.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
The answer is 100%.
That's a
Bro,
hard fire.
when Negreanu was putting in a full schedule like 10 years ago, like when
circuits and
him,
stuff?
Mercier,
Yeah.
like him, Mercier, well, you know,
These are
back then
10K
main events were all
mains,
10Ks.
though.
Yeah. It was like him, Mercier, whatever. They were traveling the world. They were playing all the main events, literally the entire fucking schedule for WPT, EPT, you know, whatever was going on back then, WSOP, all that stuff. And they were barely eclipsing like $1 million in buy-ins. And winning $1 million was like like so few people. I remember Mercier had like a 4 or 5 year stretch where he won 7 figures in a row, and it was unprecedented.
Mhm.
No one had done that in the live realm for that level of consistency. Now you're not even making money if you do that. like if you're playing an ABI of 5K and you only cash for $1 million that year, you probably fucking broke even.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like straight on, like broke even.
I feel like back then, a lot of these, you know, like they were 10Ks, a lot of them, but they were like freeze outs, right? And now it's like 3,500, multiple days, re-entry each day, and all of a sudden you're in for $25,000 into 3,500.
You're in for 4.
Well, you also
Yeah.
had to like chase it, right? Like Jay and D-Negs and all these other guys, they'd be all over the world
Mhm.
chasing these 10K buy-ins.
Right.
Like, they would, you know, be in Prague, and they would be in Monte Carlo, and they'd be in Barcelona, and then they'd come back to the States, and you'd see them in LA and Florida and Atlantic City. Like everybody made all the major stops, and it was about, you know, they're basically traveling 2 weeks out of the month every single month.
Mhm.
Now it's like the same is true, but you're kind of on the road all year. Like you could be on the road for like 40 or 50 weeks if you truly chose to be.
Yeah, especially
And
all
you
the
wouldn't even
WP.
necessarily, well, with the circuits too, you wouldn't even
That's what I
necessarily
meant,
have
the
to leave the
circuits, yeah.
States. Yeah.
Right.
You really don't have to leave the States. You can probably find a good schedule where like you're on the road, say like 45 weeks of the year.
And honestly, you could be in Vegas. There's so many tournaments in Vegas, like a series after a series after series. Like
Yeah, I mean, Venetian
don't even
always
have-
runs stuff like
Venetian's
every
running
month.
stuff, Wynn.
And then the Wynn runs stuff every 3 months or so.
Yeah,
And then there's
got the
also
$100 daily at Orleans.
circuit. Yeah, there's Tortoise nightlies you can play.
I mean, like just when anybody sees a gap, they just plug it.
Mhm.
Like each operator just finds, they see gaps and they plug them.
I feel like
Yeah.
the Venetian just rolls one deep stack into the another. Like it's
I mean,
like,
the
oh,
Wynn's
this one
kind of doing
ended
that
in
now
next-
too.
Yeah,
It's just with
Also-
different. Yeah, it's just different. Like the Venetians, like they do different buying price points,
right.
kind of.
Some are bigger, some are small. Right.
Yeah.
The Wynn's doing the same thing. They're going from the Wynn Millions straight into the Wynn. What the fuck is it called?
Spring something.
Is it
right?
the signature
But yeah,
series?
Signature-
yeah,
signature
the
series.
signature
Okay.
series. Yeah.
Cool.
There's like, you know, a 2-day gap or maybe a 1 week gap, something along those lines between the two.
Gotcha.
But it makes
Yeah.
sense, right? Like
There's so
it's
much
it's
stuff
wild.
To play.
Tournament players didn't used to move to Vegas because it didn't make any sense. If
Right.
you didn't play cash, there was no reason to be here. They had
Right.
3 major events a year, and they were all 10Ks. One was a 25K. So they did the Doyle Brunson Classic, they did Festo Lago, and 5 Diamond, and then the Bellagio. Maybe one of those it was actually the WPT Championship, or maybe the Bellagio just hosted the WPT Championship sometimes, but that was a 25K. So there was like 4 major events that were spread out throughout each quarter. And then, you know, LA would only have LAPC, and then Bay 101 was North Cal. And that was it for West Coast. There was no other reason to be out here if you were an
Right.
MTT pro.
Yeah.
You like had to be supplementing with cash because you're
Right.
traveling elsewhere, right? Like you're going to the Borgata twice a year. This was, you know, maybe pre-Florida, but you were going to Foxwoods a couple of times a year. The East Coast was always the place that they pumped out a lot of the events. But now, never more so than now, you can get in massive volume here just in Vegas without leaving. I think you see that a lot between here and Vegas, where a lot of the Florida regs like don't travel here And a lot of the Vegas regs don't always necessarily travel to Florida. Of course, they go for the 3 main events that Seminole holds, but they don't always go for the Tampa stuff. They don't always go for the Coconut Creek stuff, or some of the circuits,
like
or
the
even,
Isle has like a
or
1700 circuit and stuff.
Even like there are a few events that Seminole runs in between. Like I know they run a big event during the World Series. Like nobody's leaving Vegas for that.
Right.
So yeah, it's like more so now than ever. There's just like massive opportunity to be an MTT pro. And I said you don't even need to leave the States. You might not even need to leave your local city if you live in the right places.
Yeah, there's some good places, like call it Florida, Vegas, Austin, I'm sure is pretty good too. I know that Doug is trying to get some stuff going at the lodge.
They're rolling out like a lot of like low stakes tournaments, like just all around, like good series, it seems, like for their customer base.
I showed up here yesterday and they're like, "Are you playing the 1700 World Series circuit event?" I'm like,
"What?"
You're like, "Bro, what?"
Like, first of all, there's a 2500 and a 3K in Vegas, so no. Like I would never leave Vegas to come here to play, comparable buy-ins. But
where's it at?
I didn't even know this was happening at the bike.
It's at the bike? Really?
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
Wow. These are the stories where like you max late reg it because it's there and then you win.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I could have after yesterday, but then I would have had to skip today's stream. Doesn't seem worth it.
Never mind. Win. Win instead.
Madness. Just win instead. Though I guess there is a 3K high roller today that I could maybe max late reg, but I think I'm without a room because this place is fucking sold out due to the tournament.
You got friends?
Do you?
Do I?
Only friends.
Do you?
I mean,
do I? I'm too old to be cops.
I'm excited for all this poker. There's poker everywhere right now. I love it. It is great.
We're gonna have to sit down and iron out a more permanent schedule now that you down bad tournament players feel like you need to be at the fucking casino by the crack of dawn.
Listen,
these start times keep getting earlier and earlier.
I have to be there, man.
Please tell me about the early levels, Lamanna. Please.
I have a lot of fun.
The
at
early
the
levels, people make massive mistakes, and you're giving up on a lot of EV by missing them.
Yeah, one time I tried to use a good hand as a bluff in the early level, and it didn't work.
See?
That is
catching Landon punts out here.
That's one of the most bullshit narratives that's been spread for the better part of 2 decades.
I have a lot of fun in the early levels.
That's reasonable.
I missed it. What?
I have a lot of fun in the early levels.
Oh.
So
yeah, definitely have fun.
In general, though, you're just like not making money in the early levels. If anything, like a lot of people are losing money in the early levels, especially if we're correct that ICM matters from the first card off the deck for the first hand dealt in the event. If we're correct about that, then you need to have a relatively high degree of skill in order to navigate the ICM model that early in the event. And since seemingly almost everybody's unaware of it, it means that by nature, I guess like if you're the biggest winner from the chip EV standpoint, like it doesn't really matter. You're going to have a reasonable hourly, but because of the depreciating aspect of chips as you collect them, the chips you win early are worth far less than the chips that you just maintain later on in the event. And the amount of work that's been done just demonstrating like how much EV is gained by stalling, how much EV is gained by max late regging, how much EV is gained by basically just not being dealt in. It's really difficult to put forth a strong argument that says I'm making so much money at the 100 level that I can't miss.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like that weird disparity where there's a lot of stuff that does happen, wouldn't happen, where you're more likely to quote unquote catch punts, if you will. But I think there's also an overestimation as to how much stuff is really going on in that time frame. Also, sometimes
like,
sure you scam someone and you cooler them. Yeah.
Well, it's also just like how much are those punts even worth?
Exactly. Like doubling after you max late reg when you go all in for 20 bigs versus doubling from hand 1 are 2 different spots to double. One is worth way more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of fun in the early levels. I don't know,
for sure. Yeah,
it's a party.
Yeah,
we get it popping.
It's a party.
It's a party. You get it
I'll
popping.
tell you guys.
Play a lot of hands.
Well, what I will say,
honestly, for recreational players though, which I'm like, I don't know, what do I consider myself?
Rec adjacent.
Rec pro.
Rec adjacent.
Yeah.
You're a tortoise, you know.
Like you also want, if you're putting up the buy-in, you want to, not just be there for 15 minutes a lot of the time.
I think you just defined what you are.
There you go. Seriously. No, for sure. No, I mean, I'm being serious because it's like, if you're gonna put up the buy-in, you enjoy playing. I play because I enjoy it, and then the money's the secondary factor.
Okay, so you've defined your strategy. You've defined who you are. Because like for someone that knows that you instantly make ROI by maxing and you already get the EV and your hourly is increased,
I don't know if that's
100%
true though. I just don't know.
It is, but there's a lot more fun in level 1. What can you say?
What I will say is the ROI is definitely higher. Like the earlier that you play, there's clearly a threshold, right? Mm-hmm. But max late registering, if you're a good poker player, is going to always give you immediate EV, and your hourly is going to be higher because you're playing the tournament for less time.
Your hourly is going to be higher for sure. Yeah.
So hourly is higher, but what stops are doing, like what the Venetian is doing and some other places, is if you register on time, you get reduced rake. So now you're paying less rake if you play from the start.
Really?
And that's now makes it worth more to register on time.
Why do they want to encourage you to register on time?
Why?
They're making the party cheaper. Who cares?
Because it's re-entry, man.
Oh,
the people who are there on time, the more bullets they fire.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you actually get money back, but still.
To Landon's point, if you don't estimate yourself to be in the top, 10% of the field skill-wise, it's almost certain that you're hunting money by being there during the early levels.
What if I do consider myself to be in the top 10% of the field?
Well, get there on time, buddy. And,
you know what? Get your ticket the night before, like you do, Tortua.
Yeah, show up, show out. Do your thing.
Yep.
It's a tortoise in the main.
I do think that it's good for, I guess, like operators to come up with systems that will encourage people to register on time, because I do think that we should be discouraging sharp people from gaming the system to the best of their ability.
Right.
And to Landon's point, I think that there probably is a tipping point where you're giving something up by waiting past that point to register.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like level 1 or level 2. I think it's probably somewhere around
like
when starting stack.
Yeah.
And I'm guesstimating, right? Like I think that there are people far smarter than me that are going to be capable of modeling this if they haven't already to figure it out. But I would imagine it's somewhere around the 40 big blind threshold.
That's what I was thinking, like 40, 50 blind, like coming in at 250 big blinds at the beginning, or as opposed to coming in at 50 big blinds where you're already like a few hours into the tournament, but it might be better yet.
I think.
Just in general,
the 50 big blinds you can play very well.
Well, just in general, the nature of tournament poker is such that doing anything that you're not going to consistently do for 99% of the event seems silly. So the reason why we got rid of the first 2 levels having no ante is because of the only 2 levels of maybe a 50 level event that play ante-free poker, which is meaningless, right?
Yeah.
It's silly. Nobody should ever show up for that. It's kind of the
we
same
actually
thing with
did
deep
that.
stack. Yeah, agreed. And it's kind of the same thing with deep stack. It's like the only time during the event where you'll have more than 100 big blinds, even if you're the chip leader, barring like it being the slowest structure ever, like the main event or like this Wynn Millions event that's taking place right now. In an average structure event, even the chip leader is going to be at 100 blinds or sub for the majority of the event. So playing the levels where you are deeper than 100 blinds, sure, you might be able to carve out a little bit of extra edge because everybody's playing deeper than they're accustomed to. But if ICM is truly a thing, then you don't just get to execute what you would deem to be a winning deep stack strategy. You have to execute a winning deep stack strategy with ICM layered over top. And that's not going to be as favorable for people who are comfortable playing deep, because the people who are comfortable playing deep are cash players. And MTT guys don't spend any time studying 200 big blind stacks because, again, it's sub 1% of the entire event that you'll have 200 big blinds effective.
Okay, I mean, you convinced me.
Right.
I'm not gonna skip the pod to play the early levels. That was your entire plan the whole time, and it worked.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because
I'll be here. I'll go late reg.
like average
Scoop
stack
up my AV.
for most of MTTs, for call it most live structures, average stack is probably gonna be somewhere between 20 and 40 bigs. Right?
Right.
So if you're able to play good poker between 20 and 40 bigs and you're like top X in the field, that's when you should play the tournament, you know?
True.
So sometimes when
Yeah.
you're maxing and you max and you get 20 bigs, like that's beautiful.
And I feel like a lot of people, especially in the smaller buy-ins, play the 20 to 40 big blind stacks very poorly.
yeah,
right?
there's a lot of
like,
reach hands.
Like there is an edge there to come in with 40 big blinds, 35 big blinds, and just immediately have an edge over the field.
Correct, because like there might be a spot where button opens, you look at deuces and small blind with 20 bigs, and you
All
jam, and then it folds back to button, and they start folding a hand like king 10 suited.
Right.
Right, you're just printing by jamming.
Holding
here.
sixes somehow.
Right, yeah. And like folding hands are like they don't want to flip or do these sort of things.
Right.
Where now it's very easy to underestimate how much you're actually winning by getting that through.
Yeah.
Right, because now
Right.
it's happening when registration's over, chips are worth more, needs to be called here. Otherwise, you're getting an unfair edge from a small blind, and you're just printing. Right,
Yeah.
you just get to increase your stack by a lot by getting these hands through. Right, and that's you've now increased your stack by X, where you're now playing within these constraints of 20 to 40 big blinds. And you know how to play post flop very well. You know how to play your pre-flop ranges really well. So why would you now play a tournament when you enter with 100 big blinds if you're not as comfortable? Because most people
Right.
spend their time in MTT land 40 bigs and under.
Yeah.
Right? If you can
Yeah.
play, if somebody can play 40 bigs and under beautifully, they're going to be one of the best MTT players in the world.
Yeah.
They're just going to win every
Right.
time.
Right.
Right? You just know how to play these stacks. You know how to navigate average stack. But it's so difficult and so nuanced because low jack button at 40 is different than low jack big blind at 40, different than low jack small blind at 40, right? Different than multi-way.
Right.
So all of the time should be spent in these constraints with the average stack is what you're normally going to have, somewhere between 20 and 40 bigs.
Yeah,
Well
and to further that, I know we should be talking about the Wynn Millions anyway. Coming into day 5, mind you, day 5.
A5.
There are still 19 players left. The chip leader has 95 big blinds,
That's yaya.
and second in chips is not at his table. So the effective stack at the table is only 60 big blinds. So this is like just a lot of what you're going to see in a general sense of MTT poker is not about executing deep stack strategies, which is all the early levels are really about. And, you know, if you care enough to play seriously, you have to figure out how you're going to divide your time in study. If you're sitting around studying 100 big blind MTT spots, you're just absolutely wasting so many resources when instead you could just skip the 2 levels that you're actually that deep.
Mark, do
and
you know
move
any
forward.
events coming up in May that are going to teach people how to navigate these stacks?
You know, it's funny you should mention that, Brian. We actually have an MTT Academy coming up right before the World Series of Poker.
Incredible.
May 24th to the 27th. Matt Hunt will be leading the way here with the Tortoise asking all of the important questions.
So many.
It's a 4-day event. Gameplay each day mixed with strategy discussion in the morning. The gameplay will actually represent each phase of the event. So from those beginning levels that we're talking about, where you're a lot deeper, all the way down to day 4, culminating in a final table that everybody gets to play at. If you have any more interest in that or you want to know any more information, head to academy.solveforwhy.io. Click the banner at the top. That will take you to the MTT Academy. We also have a Poker Out Loud Academy coming up April 15th to the 18th. I think we have 3 seats remaining for this. They're going hot, baby. This is our final Poker Out Loud Academy for the year. We're going to switch back to the old format for the second half of the year. So if you're interested in coming, divulging your strategy in real time, having us as coaches giving you real-time feedback and kind of critiquing things, feel free to head to academy.solveforwhy.io and we'll hook you up, man. We got you.
Right.
Very well done, Lamana.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Fucking.
So speaking of the Wynn Millions, this is day 5 of a never-ending event. Seems like it's going to be
It is.
a night. I can't believe I played this fucking thing. I had no idea what I was signing up for. I would have never. No way.
Liar.
I would have fucking played. I would not have played, man.
My God, if you have 95 big blinds right now, you'd be the happiest little camper in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how
Relax.
unlikely it is for me to have 95 big blinds on day 5 and then go on to still have a good showing? I mean, these guys are going into day 5. They've been playing for a week and a half, and they're only guaranteed at this point.
I think it's $32,000.
$32,500. I mean,
It's the dream, man.
I legitimately got 14th in the Sherpo main event last January for about 39,000, and it was only day 3. And at that point, I was irate.
Berkey's
So
only
don't
playing
tell
turbos
me.
from here on out.
Don't tell me how I would feel going into week 2 of this fucking event.
Yeah.
Having only 10x my buy-in.
Listen, you can't complain about this and then also complain about the 5K being a turbo at the WSOP.
I can. They're two extremes. They're two very wide extremes. Listen, I think the structure is fantastic. I just think that it's the wrong event for this. Like this makes more sense for the 10K WTT championship, where first place is going to be, $5 fucking
In the millions,
million. Yeah, it's like, okay, like let's roll with it, baby. Let's do the 90-minute structures. Let's keep this nice and slow. Let's grind it out. Let's show me who the best is. That's great. If I'm going to rock it off 3,500 and try to, rip off a 650 score, let's get that done.
I think I'm right in the middle.
3,500 is some people's max that they're going to play.
But also, I think
great.
I think there's a sweet spot right in the middle, of 90 and 60-minute levels.
You mean like a WPT?
75.
When I saw it was 90-minute levels on day 2, I also did think that was a little extreme.
No, I was a fan. I liked it.
I like it. I like it at all.
Listen, the Tortoise likes to go slow and steady, so I'm never going to complain about longer levels. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Maybe 75. Even an hour all the way through ends up being a good structure.
I like the way WPT does it, where they have the hour levels the whole way through, and then at final 2 tables or so, and maybe it's final 3,
When the
they
money
change
really
it
matters.
to 90.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they slow it down a bit.
Yeah.
Not bad,
Yeah. I think that I think it's like completely reasonable that it goes to 75 when the money bubble bursts, and then if you want to do 90 for call it 3 tables down, so like what would ultimately probably be day 4, that seems great. I'm all for playing with structures. I like the fact that this is slow when the money matters, but it's not a criticism. It's just a who got time for this kind of observation.
Who's got time?
I mean, I think we all have time to win
600,000.
the chance.
For the
Matt's
best
really
MTT
going with the
players
ain't
in the
nobody got
world.
time for that right now.
He's
For
on
the
a
best
winning
MTT
streak,
players
bro.
in the world, this is obviously amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like they just get to patiently pick people apart and do really well, and we'll see like if that ends up being the final showing. There's a fair amount of killers left in the field, guys that are pretty good. Although I will say that coming into day 4, it was pretty star-studded. I think Foxen was still in with Piles. Who was chip leading coming into day 4? It was somebody notable. I guess I can just look. I have.
Oh, it's Cal.
Oh yeah, Calvin
Rocket
Anderson.
Cal.
That's right. That is correct.
Dyer has chips. Yeah.
Oh yeah, damn. No matter what day I go to, it still only shows me the current chip stacks. But yeah, so Zach Donovan is second in chips. He's had a nice run in some events lately. I think, did he go deep in the 10K main? If I
believe
recall?
so. Yes, I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't have his hand up right now, but I thought that he just had a recent 6-figure score, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's been doing
That
pretty
could
good
be
recently. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
But yeah, he's been doing well, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yep, he got second in the Venetian 1600 in February for 151. He also got 7th in the 5 diamond for 166. So
that's what it was.
He's
It was
moving.
5 diamond.
He's
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, in our Young Michael Dyer makes another appearance deep in a big field event. No real shock to see that. I'll be curious if he brings the cereal to the table. I miss the Did Dyer C-Bet Twitter account. That one was so fucking good, man.
What was this?
And like when he final tabled the main, there was a spoof account that popped up that said it was titled "Did Dyer C-Bet?" because he C-bets 100% always. Like he never checked the flop, not one single time during 7 days or 8 days or 9 days. Or whatever. He just never checked the flop, and so like it was just this account of every time he played a hand, it was "Did Dyer C-Bet?" and the answer was yes.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody who knows Dyer, like he's very contrarian when it comes to like strategy, and like he has his own thoughts about things, and certain aspects of it to him make a lot of sense that we can maybe push back on a little bit, but like he's out there doing his thing.
Yeah,
he's
bro
shaking,
gets W's. You let him cook.
100% C-bet strategy in the main event might be good.
Might be.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be.
Well, people
can't be
fold too
awful.
much.
People do fold too much, in theory. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how this shakes out. I guess we can probably cover it again. I don't know, next Friday once we finally crown the winner. Oh man,
Did you say next Friday?
Yeah. I'll leave it up for interpretation as far as which Friday I'm talking about. I guess Andy could be the final arbiter.
Andy, can you please text me what date next Friday is? Thank you.
I think he accepts it when it's on the day of. So since it's Friday, next Friday,
Man,
acceptable.
I remember sending Matt a message I sent to a friend about like plans either like a Friday, it's like this Friday or next Friday. Like, oh well, you have no idea how much we've discussed this one.
Ad nauseum.
Gotta love it, man. Berkey,
What
so
do you
what are you
boys
playing
got?
with tonight? What are you doing? Talk to me.
All right.
Are you
Guess
on
we'll talk
the
about it.
Are you on the thumbnail, or is it just Kitty?
No, I made the thumbnail. Kitty doesn't fucking come, man. She's out there looking for a handsome man, and she's not gonna find it at the bike. So she's relegated to prettier places of the world than
The Wynn?
Than Bell Gardens. Yeah. Yeah, we're playing 50-100 again. Looks like it's a pretty reg-filled lineup. Big shout out to Johnny Vibes. Happy birthday today.
Happy
Young
Birthday vibes.
I think he's on the thumbnail, but I don't think he's actually joining us. So I'm not sure what the lineup will be. I think it's me, Masato, and Ishan again. Everybody else filling in. We fucking ended up 4-handed yesterday. It was the 4 of us, me, Ishan, Johnny, and Masato, and then the 3 Knicks. And we just basically sent the Knicks to the altar.
Bertucci was there?
No.
Vibes is back in the lineup.
Is he?
Yep. Live at the bike is just confirmed. Maybe they confirmed that they got you a room for the night too. Let's find out.
Oh, maybe. Well, I don't know. I mean, if the stream doesn't play, or if the game doesn't play off stream, I'm just gonna catch the last JSX flight out.
Okay.
So I can not miss the gym in the morning. But yeah, it was Johnny's birthday. He said he was gonna go to Vegas and meet his wife. So I mean, I'm happy to hear he's back. Let's get out there fucking swinging, baby. Let's go.
Let's get it popping, man.
Yeah, what do you boys got lined up for the weekend?
I'm going back to the Pac-12 tournament today for the semifinals. That was actually really fun watching 4 games back to back to back.
Yeah,
like that's actually to back. Like that's really cool. I don't know.
Got the tomorrow $100 circuit online event, 75K.
Thank God you
Guaranteed.
ended that with online.
Oh yeah, yeah, online. Yeah, no, it's a great event, right? Yeah, it's like I don't know, 3x rebuy, double stack is it's a good tournament. Play that. We got Lauren and Zeus's little celebration because they tied that knot up real nice on Sunday, so that'll be fun.
Congrats to Lauren and Zeus.
That's right, finally did it.
Yeah,
Do you still call him Zeus?
Zeus. Z-U-Z. I know, but I call him
because
Zeus.
his last name is Zuzalo.
Yeah.
And you call him the Greek god of, or the Norse god of
Greek.
He is the Greek god
Thunder?
of
Father of
grammar.
Apollo.
of language.
Yeah, the god of language. Yeah.
The god of lightning bolts.
The god of this week or next week, I'm gonna have lightning. But yeah, 800 for me. I'm gonna play the day 1B of the Venetian. They're gonna play the Wynn main because it is possible to win both. You know, I'm not gonna put the cart like the 2200.
Oh, the 2200.
It's like the second main, I guess.
The 800 day 2 is on Monday, I'm assuming. Or no, the 2200 day 2 is on Monday.
Yeah.
And the 800 day 2 is on Sunday, just like they did last week.
Is it or is it tomorrow?
Ooh, it might be tomorrow.
Flights? I think are there 3 flights or 2? I don't know.
I would assume that there's going to be 3 flights to this.
Anyways, it's possible to win both, I think.
It has to be. They wouldn't do anything other.
Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, so I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to win in poker and not rocket ace queen for 90 bigs this time.
There you go.
Tortoise, the people want a piece. Should we start crowdsourcing your comeback here in the tournament space?
Wait, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should.
I said Tortua.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Landon. Yeah, we'll do something.
We can get you lit, man.
Get him a piece.
We might have to start thinking about this.
What?
So we might have to start thinking about this. Maybe start including the listeners. Like maybe do like something
Tortoise
like a members only thing. Not just Tortoise. Like I think we could all start selling small pieces at face.
Oh yeah, members. Well, we
kind of like what D-Negs does.
We promoted the members for a while. We need to hit that member.
Big shout out to everybody out there who's been supporting the stream for all these years. Really appreciate all this year.
Brad Nesser just signed up to be he's been a fan of the podcast for a while. I'm surprised he wasn't already a member, but he is now a member of the Nerds and Brainiacs.
He's probably just reading up.
Maybe he's reading up. Yeah. Shout out to Brad. He's always out there. Yep.
I had an idea that I didn't write down.
You have a lot of those.
About something we could do for members leading up to the World Series. And I do remember. Should I say this on air?
You're talking about what I suggested?
We're kind of committed to the event.
Yeah.
I think
I'm scared.
Yeah, let's talk about it more off air. I know
we'll talk about that one off air. We might have something in the works.
We're leaving you guys with a little bit of a tease, but I think that that's a really cool idea. But we should but if we do, we should start running I have a whole idea of how we can start running the contest now and almost create a league where they're playing for it.
Oh my God.
Oh, even better.
Rob, I feel like they're going to have us do work. Please put the music on.
What do you got lined up this weekend, Guap?
I'm going to be catching up on some editing. I'm going to fire that $100 tournament with Brian.
Yes.
And play some cash.
Yeah, but are you going to go to the Win?
No. He
Probably
said
not.
He
go
said
to the Win.
editing,
Go to
man.
the Win.
Go to the fucking Win.
Landon, you know the go to the fucking gym guy?
Yes.
I would love it if every day for the next 2 weeks you just made Instagram reels in that vein for Guapo, just saying,
just go to the Win.
Go to the fucking Win.
Go to the fucking Win.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you out there crying about your bankroll not being big enough? Go to the fucking Win.
We could do that. We can cook.
I think you'd be good at this, Burke.
Yeah.
No, but Landon looks like him, or at least used to.
No, you do. Yeah, you have the hair.
No,
if I had Landon's hair or Landon had my arms, we could pull this off.
Landon needs to grow a beard out, though.
No.
That's true.
No beard.
My nephew just shaved his beard and sent me a picture, but he kept the mustache.
Oh,
and I have to tell you, it's one of the most jarring things I've ever seen.
Mustaches are in, man.
No.
They're in.
All right, I'll send him a text now.
I'll forward to everybody so Guap can fill the audience in on what I'm saying. I guess they won't really have any reference because they didn't see them with a beard, but the mustache alone is just pretty jarring. We'll get that out there. But yeah, I think that's probably going to do it for us. I'm going to go grab a little bit of food before I get to play. So if you guys want to head over to Live at the Bike, we're going to be live at 3 p.m., I believe, is when the stream actually starts. I'll be down there rocking and firing around 1, so it's a bit of a delay.
Holy shit, that's Eric?
Yeah.
I just texted him. No.
Oh my God.
I
look so different.
I go, bold choice keeping the mustache. He goes, it wasn't a choice.
Wow.
That's the yinzer in him. You just have to have it. But yeah, I think we're playing 50-100 again. Stand-up game encouraged. Get this thing off the rails. Play a lot of all-in pots. Man, everybody was fucking all in a lot yesterday.
We like it.
It's fun.
Fun for the viewer, too.
I want to play stand-up game double board bomb pots.
Now we're
In
talking.
there.
Yeah, like let's get it going because
Can we do a poker out
because if
loud
you-
like that?
that'd be fun. But if you play double board bomb pot stand-up game, you don't get to sit on a split. So it really incentivizes people to overplay non-scoops.
Yeah,
Bro,
like
the last time we did bomb pots on Poker Out Loud, I lost my mind.
This is facts. This is facts.
And it was not
He
because
actually,
of playing the hands. It was because I had to sit and wait.
not everybody has the answers, Landon. We were just trying to feel it out in the moment. It's difficult. Bomb pots are hard. And,
Yeah, it got to the level of disdain where I turned off the headphones because I was not in the hand just to hear what was being said. I wasn't happy.
Oh yeah, you act like a real big baby.
I was so unhappy. It took 45 minutes for 6 hands.
Oh my God. On that note, we are out of here, guys. Berkey's gonna crush them today. Landon's gonna go to the gym. Tortoise is gonna go, I don't know, cook some brisket.
He's gonna
Let's
go
get
cook.
it popping. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're out.
Peace.